Good afternoon and welcome to the Pinecrest Business Association Member Spotlight. Today I'm joined by John Wilson, our past president of the Pinecrest Business Association, and with IntelliClaim Public Adjusters. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Jen.
So tell us a little bit about IntelliClaim.
So IntelliClaim was started about 15 years ago. That's around the time that I got licensed as a public adjuster. I used to work for an insurance repair contractor chasing disasters around the entire country for several years. And I got to see firsthand how insurance companies treated their clients in their most time of need. And that's what inspired me to become a public adjuster. And I've been doing that ever since.
Very nice. So I know you're very happy that it's hurricane season, right? You're like one of those people that do the rain dance.
I count down every year leading up to June 1st. So.
And watches the news for, the cones of disaster that are heading our ways.
I think every public adjuster becomes a meteorologist when the cone of uncertainty. We start posting on all social medias. Everyone starts looking at our pages for weather updates, and I think it's funny, but half the time these storms miss us. We haven't had a storm in quite a while.
Yes, thank God, right? Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So, but this season, I think there's some things that are a little bit different insurance-wise with hurricane season. So can you bring us up to speed on all of that?
Yes. So there's been a lot of changes, some of them coming into effect July 1st. One of those big changes is the 25% rule with roofs. In the past, when you filed a claim, if 25% or more of your roof was damaged, the building code here in South Florida would require you to replace the entire roof. It's been like that for a very long time, and it's intended to make your roof stronger in case of hurricane. You're not with 50% of your roof that's still old or compromised. So apparently the insurance lobbyists got their way and was able to convince our lawmakers to get rid of that 25% rule after hurricanes. And now if 50% of your roof is damaged, you're going to be allowed to replace 50%, you won't be required to replace the whole roof.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's going to be detrimental, but there is still a way of getting your full roof replaced after a hurricane if you hire the professionals that know how to do so.
The insurance adjusters.
Public adjusters.
Yes.
Yeah. The insurance companies are not going to divulge that information to you. They're not going to volunteer to pay for the full roof. You're going to have to hire a professional,
Absolutely.
whether it be a public adjuster or an attorney.
Right. So a lot of insurance companies utilize their option to repair, right? So what does that mean?
So an option to repair is when an insurance company sends a contractor to fix your home. You have to pay that contractor the deductible. And a lot of times there's either a managed repair clause in the policy or a preferred contractor endorsement. They word it differently in different insurance companies, but the principle is the same. The insurance company is taking away the right to hire the contractor from you. You're paying the deductible to the contractor, and essentially they're the ones paying the contractor directly to fix your home. How does that contractor get on that insurance company's list is a question I would ask. And who is that contractor really working for if you're not the one paying them? The insurance company is. So a lot of times these insurance company contractors or these managed repair contractors, they're incentivized to do the job as inexpensively as possible. And if there's any gray area where they can say, hey, technically this might be covered or technically this might not be covered, which way do you think they're going to go with it?
Well, they're not going to lean towards you.
Correct.
They're going to lean towards the insurance, of course.
Right. So a couple other things that I forgot to mention earlier as far as different changes in the laws from prior hurricane seasons is there's a $3,000 mitigation limit. Before, you could hire a company to put a tarp on your roof, dry out your house if every single room is leaking after a hurricane, and whatever that company charged, it would go to the insurance company to get reimbursed. Now they put a $3,000 limit on that. So
I'm assuming the average cost is more than $3,000.
It's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So you're either going to have to get approval from your insurance company, or you're going to have to just pay the rest out of pocket,
right,
if you don't get that approval. Another thing is there was a recent case law that came out allowing you to record inspections at your house. So there was insurance companies that didn't like being recorded on video when they would go to inspect your house for a claim. And we all have a constitutional right to record audio and video in our homes. And that's a new thing that I would definitely take advantage of as a homeowner or as an adjuster, because you're documenting, showing your insurance company all the damages. You're showing, whether or not this person is licensed, competent, how they're treating you, how they're talking. That video is going to be priceless later down the road if your claim isn't paid properly.
Okay, so if you're having an inspection on your house for any type of claim, break out the phone and
break
record.
out the GoPro, break out the iPhone, and push record. The only rule is you have to provide a copy of that video to all parties upon request.
Of course.
It's not something that you can hold privately. I think it's a good way of holding insurance companies accountable. Also, they would send their experts like engineers and plumbers that sometimes ask you questions they shouldn't be asking you. And they're borderline practicing or adjusting without a license. So this is going to help expose the bad actors.
So isn't it just the inspection, or is it also the plumbers or
all those
electricians?
Inspections. If you have a plumbing leak in your house, the insurance company will sometimes send a plumber or an engineer. So you want to record all those inspections as well. And if those people don't feel comfortable being recorded, it's probably for a good reason.
Right. So we hear on the news all the time, insurance crisis, that Florida's in an insurance crisis. I believe several companies have gone into receivership this year. How many have gone in?
It's over 6 just in the past 6 months.
Wow.
St. John's, Avatar, Southern Fidelity, Gulfstream, Windhaven. I think FedNat is restructuring to avoid receivership. So that's a lot of our big Florida insurance companies.
And what does that mean to us that are living here in South Florida?
That means it's going to be harder to find insurance because there's less competition out there. There's going to be, price hikes because
like it wasn't hard to find homeowners insurance before.
Correct. But instead of 20 options, now there's going to be 10 or 15.
Right. And
depending on how close you live to the ocean, maybe 1 or 2 options.
Or when your house was built.
That too.
Like I have that issue with my home because it was built in 1968.
Yeah. So you're going to have a lot of issues finding insurance, considering everything that's going on. Now, why do these insurance companies go insolvent? That's the question I would be asking. That's the question that our lawmakers should be asking. And believe it or not, there's an autopsy report that's done to every insurance company when they go insolvent. And those reports are supposed to be given to our lawmakers, right? They haven't. They haven't been giving them to our lawmakers up until the last legislative session, the morning of.
Isn't there a timeline where they have to be provided to the lawmakers to review prior to a vote?
You would think that there would be, but it was given to them the morning of session.
Wow.
So there's no way you can read a 180 plus page report per insurance company to figure out, oh, this is what they were doing wrong that led to their failure and crash. This is what they were doing wrong. And I think, in my opinion, based on dealing with a lot of these insurance companies that are on that list, a lot of them weren't doing things right. These are the bad apples. These are the bad actors.
Of course.
So I think Floridians are better off not having these insurance companies around. But we're going to see a continuation of this happening because insurance companies are of the mindset, hey, the longer we can delay payment of a claim, the more profits we make. Unfortunately, in South Florida, people don't just settle for that lowball offer or that denial saying it's not covered when in fact it is.
Right.
People are educated. They're more savvy here in South Florida. And I really believe they either hire public adjusters or attorneys, and there's more accountability for the insurance companies.
We don't take things for face value.
Correct. So I think it's because of that accountability that has led to increased litigation because of the insurance companies' wrongdoing. Sure, there's fraud. Sure, I mean, there's bad apples on both sides of the industry. But I truly believe it's because of the insurance companies doing the wrong thing, and that's what's causing this.
What trends do you see with insurance claims right now? What are you seeing that's out there?
So one of the most common trends that I've seen since October of last year until now is insurance companies just flat out ignoring the 90-day statute to pay or deny claims. They're letting claims go 100, 200, 250 days after the loss was reported without issuing a coverage decision or a payment.
And how do they get away with that?
The reason they get away with that is because there's no accountability from our state. Like in other states, they get fined. In Florida, when you file a complaint against so-and-so insurance company, the Department of Financial Services sends them a notice saying, hey, here's all the accusations. You have 30 days to respond. All the insurance company has to do is deny all those accusations. They don't have to give any factual evidence that those accusations are true or not. Even though the consumer provides, hey, look, here's a screenshot showing I provided them everything they're asking for, which was the reason for their denial. The there's no meaningful license suspension penalty that the insurance companies are going to, oh, we need to stop doing this.
Right.
The Department of Financial Services, sadly, from our experience in filing complaints, doesn't really do much, if anything, to the insurance companies. And your only recourse is to litigate against the insurance company, which is sad because we try to avoid litigation at all costs.
Of course.
We try to go to mediation, and that doesn't always get the claim resolved. So I truly believe the reason for all the increased litigation in our state is because of the bad apple insurance companies and the lack of accountability from our state insurance commissioner and regulators.
So if somebody's having an issue, what type of advice would you give them before they file a claim?
The advice that I would give them is make sure you read your policy first. Know what's covered, know what's not covered. The worst thing you can do is file a claim for something that isn't covered, or it's excluded, or it's limited to $5,000 or $10,000, like the common $10,000 water damage limit. Right. Imagine you have $30,000, $40,000 of damage, and your policy has a hidden $10,000 limit you didn't even know about. Would you file a claim for that, or would you maybe fix it out of pocket and look at other options? So the best thing I would recommend is review your policy. There's plenty of public adjusters like myself who will review the policy for you and tell you, hey, this is what's covered, this is what's not, and go from there.
Any advice with going into hurricane season? Like what should people do to have their ducks in a row if something should happen?
The best thing you can do is, let's say we're in a hurricane warning. It's definitely coming our way. Get pictures, get video. They always say take pictures of everything, but I mean everything. Like get on your roof. If you don't have someone that can get on your roof, if it's a 2-story house, there's plenty of public adjusters who will drone the roof. Or your kids that might have a drone that you can take video and pictures showing every square foot of your property, because the insurance companies need to know that wasn't pre-existing before the hurricane or before the tornado, before whatever storm we get. And even if we get missed and it goes another direction, you're going to have that for whatever claim you have in the future. It's good to do those every year to document everything, so that stain in the ceiling, they can't say it was from an air conditioning leak, has nothing to do with a hurricane.
Right.
It's only going to help you, and it doesn't really cost much.
I always took before Irma came, I remember taking pictures of every inch of my house and the yard. I never thought of video though. I should do both. Right.
Do both. Because the picture is going to allow you to zoom in a little bit better than video, but the video also is great too, because
it's a great idea.
You see things. Yeah.
Great idea. Anything else?
I'll leave with one story of a claim.
Please.
So this was a bank on US 1, a very small community bank that they had a Hurricane Irma claim. No public adjuster. They filed it themselves, and the insurance company paid them like $15,000. They had like a $20,000 deductible, so they got zero. They hired me a year after the storm, reopened the claim, and they got like $135,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So don't ever take the insurance company's word, even if it is covered and they say it's below deductible. Always get a second opinion, because you might be leaving a lot of money on the table, and that's what they bank on. That's what they count on. Of course,
but we all pay for our insurance, and when it's time to use it, they make it nearly impossible to use or utilize. That's the sad part of it, which is why we need people like John Wilson out there to help us navigate it. Thank you so much for joining me today in this information.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. Come back anytime. Remember, everybody, Pinecrest Business Association is off for the summer. We're enjoying our summer like you're enjoying your summer. We will be back with an August luncheon, so stay tuned for details on that. And thank you for watching. Thank you to the Miller Brothers for hosting us as always. Thank you, Andres, for all your help as well. Thank you, John. And we'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.